Hello, my name is Alex.
And my name is Evan.
And welcome back to the CVU Show.
If you are a junior, you will be eligible to sign up for next year's classes on April 1st for Cohort 1 and the 5th for Cohort 2.
In sports news, the boys hockey team will be playing in the semifinals tomorrow against BFA Stowe in St. Albans. The time is still to be decided, but check the CVU website for any updates.
Also, on Saturday, the boys basketball team will be playing in their quarterfinal game against BHS. This game will be at CVU at 2 p.m., so make sure to tune in.
This year's Spectrum Sleepout will be on Friday, March 26th.
This is an annual event put on by the Spectrum Youth and Family Services with the goal to help, empower, and provide shelter to the homeless youth in Vermont.
It is a fundraising event where you can volunteer to sleep in tents or sleeping bags outside for the night in your own backyard in order to raise money and awareness for homelessness.
This year, it will be easier than ever to get involved since the event is 100% virtual.
That's right. Instead of being together, students this year will be submitting photos of themselves sleeping outside of their homes. If you have any questions, please contact Elise Martin-Smith or Amy Wardwell.
Did you miss having Rally and Winter Carnival this year? Hopefully this will excite you if so. Student Council and the 4 class councils are organizing a Spring Fest for the Tuesday and Friday prior to April break. The plans are in progress and the schedule will be a similar schedule to Winter Carnival and with shortened class and outdoor trike race and recess activities.
Next, we would like to share an amazing thing we have in our school. This is our own food shelf. You may have seen the grab and go shelf outside of the Direction Center. This is just a small fraction of the food shelf.
To get you guys some more information, we interviewed 2 students who have been helping with the food shelf.
I'm Alex and I'm joined with Nick and Claire, and they're here to talk to us about the CVU food shelf.
Hi, I'm Claire.
And I'm Nick. At CVU, we have many food shelves in the house offices and in the main office, and they're for people that don't have the ability to obtain food, for them to get it on a normal basis.
So I guess my first question for you guys is, what if people don't feel comfortable coming home from school with grocery bags? Is there something that they can do so that way it's more secretive and hidden so they're not as embarrassed to get food from school?
Yeah, we have a system. People have donated backpacks, so we can put the bags of food in there as kind of a more subtle way to get your food.
Another question I have is there a system in place to ensure that the food gets out before the expiration date, or is there like a sorting system that you guys do?
Yeah, actually a lot of the food we have doesn't expire till 2023 or beyond that because it's a lot of canned goods or just goods that don't really expire. And every couple weeks I go and check to restock the food shelves or just make sure that everything's set to go.
I just have one last question. For people that are looking to help and donate to the food shelf, what's some items that is more popular that people should look to donate if they're looking to?
We would say more packaged food because that does last longer. And like Nick said, canned goods. Anything else?
Yeah, it's just really just packaged foods, canned goods, things that really don't expire for long periods of time.
Awesome. Is there anything else you guys like to say?
Yeah, lastly, I'd just like to thank all the families and community for donating their time and food and just their support for the food shelf.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to the studio.
Big thanks to everyone who has gone out of their way to make the food shelf happen. And please, feel free to either donate food or grab any food that you need.
The fun fact of the day is, the most successful pirate was a woman. She was a 19th century Chinese pirate known as Qing Shi. She easily succeeded her husband's crew of 1,800 ships and 80,000 men.
On the topic of amazing women, this month is Women's History Month. Due to this, we decided to conduct some interviews with some of the great women in our school. Our first interview is with science teacher Jess Lemieux.
Hey guys, this is a new segment for the CVU Show. My name's Aiden, I'm in 10th grade, and this is Jess. And today we're going to be talking about science. And I have a few more questions, or other questions for you. So my first question is, tell us about yourself a little bit.
Okay, sure. So I'm Jess Lemieux. This is my 10th year at CVU. I have 2 roles here. One is a 10th grade biology teacher, as you know, And the other is one of the proficiency-based learning coordinators. So I help transition the school to proficiency-based learning and act kind of as part of the teacher leadership team. I grew up in Vermont. I live in Georgia, Vermont right now, which is about 40 minutes north of here. And I live with my husband and my 2 twin boys. We like to do lots of outdoor adventures, although we're really looking forward to spring.
Yeah, I am too. So like, what is the most interesting thing that you've learned in science throughout the things that you've studied and stuff?
Yeah, I think the most interesting part I find about science is that you can't see all these teeny tiny things that are having these big effects, right? I find that fascinating that there's so many things that we can't see that are doing so many amazing things. Like if you think about your brain, it's just this big chunk of meat, but really all of the chemical reactions that are happening inside your brain allow you to think and feel and speak and just kind of be this unique human being that you are. So that's what I love.
Yeah, I'm very interested in like the brain and stuff. I would say I'm more interested in like space, I would say science, but like I like both of them, I guess.
Yeah, well, space is similar, right? Because you can't see it. I mean, you can't like, things are too big to really observe. You can't like go out, well, you could, but we're not going to go out into the universe and like observe stars.
Yeah, that's true. When you were growing up, did you want to be a teacher or did you kind of have another career path?
I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian, and so I was always interested in science, but I thought that I wanted to like be out there in the field, like fixing horses and making a difference that way. But then sometime around my junior year of college, I decided that maybe I didn't want to do that. Like, I don't know, I just kind of lost that passion for animals and thought maybe I wanted to be a teacher, but then when I took all the education classes, I missed the science. So like a lot of graduates, I kind of floundered for a couple years in trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I landed in a science lab, and then after 2 years there, I decided to apply for my PhD, and I applied for a master's in teaching program. So I got into both of them, and the master's I had to pay for, and the PhD they were going to pay me to earn, and so I decided to go that route.
Yeah, I would too.
Right? I mean, you're like 25 years old, so who wants to pay for more school?
Yeah.
So I did that, and then did a couple years as a postdoc in a biophysics lab at UVM, but really missed like that human connection and that feeling like I was making a difference. So when I shadowed at a high school, I found my passion. I just wanted to be in the classroom helping kids.
Yeah, I will say you're a great teacher, so
Thanks,
I think you found the right career. So next question is, do you think it's hard for girls to get careers in the science field?
Yeah, I think that we're seeing some good trends. So there are more women earning PhDs in science fields than there had been 10 years ago. So we're kind of seeing a steady increase in that. We're seeing a pretty leveling off with students earning bachelor's degrees in science, so that's great. The one thing I think is challenging for women, well, two things actually, but the first is that women are often the ones that are bearing children and having to take maternity leave, so often they find that that's a time in their life where they have to halt their career, where some of their male colleagues can kind of keep going on their trajectory, so that's tricky for women. And I think something that's changing but has been really prevalent in the past is that women just aren't viewed as highly as men in scientific fields. But that's changing with a lot of women in science programs, a lot of girls in science programs through high school, like Girls Who Code. So we're kind of trying to build this, this expectation as a society that women are perfectly capable as men, even better in some cases.
Right? I agree. Have you seen any changes in the opportunities that like women get in the science field?
I think the trend is changing. My own experience as a scientist was definitely one where I felt that I wasn't as respected as some of my male colleagues. So I think that if I was someone who was upset by that, it could have easily deterred me, but I just feel like I just kept trudging along and getting through that. I'm hoping that there's a shift, but I've been out of that research field for 10 years, so I can't speak to whether that's actually changing as a culture.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. So my next question is, do you have an idol, kind of someone that was a scientist or something to do with science, like a person that was in the science?
Yeah. I was always really inspired by the story of Rosalind Franklin. So she was an English chemist and X-ray crystallographer, which means she takes pictures of tiny little molecules. She was one of the first people to take the picture of DNA, but the story is really interesting because her picture was stolen by 2 male scientists. And I guess saying stolen is a strong word. It was viewed by 2 other scientists, and they used her information or her picture to build their model of DNA, which turned out to be an accurate model of DNA. And they were awarded the Nobel Prize, and she wasn't. She died 2 years before they received the Nobel Prize. And those aren't awarded after somebody dies, so she never earned that. She ended up dying of cancer because of the radiation from the X-rays, but I feel like she was really inspiring because she just kind of like took it all in stride and like fought for what she wanted to do and what she believed in, and didn't really succumb to any of the pressure from her male colleagues. There's some really interesting pictures of like in movies that they've shown, like her walking by the men's only smoking area where like she wasn't allowed to go in, but it's where a lot of science collaboration happens, so she wasn't even allowed to be part of the conversation. But anyway, I think that she's pretty amazing and kind of paved the way for other women.
Yeah, so I have just one more question that I didn't say before, but do you have like a favorite science-y movie?
Oh, a favorite science-y movie. I am pretty fascinated by Interstellar. Have you seen that?
Same. Yeah, I couldn't watch the whole thing because I fell asleep.
Oh no!
But it was pretty interesting halfway through it.
Yeah, I think that's one that you have to watch a couple times, and it's like 3 hours long. I was never really fascinated by space science until actually teaching 10th grade biology. So when we made the shift to the new 10th grade program, we included a lot of like the Big Bang and stars and planets, and through teaching that and like looking at the evidence for, that talks about how all of that kind of came to be, I became really excited about it. So when watching Interstellar, I feel like I have to watch it multiple times and make connections to science. Yeah, I think that's probably my current favorite science movie.
Yeah, I watched that one. That's probably the only science-y, or I don't know, there's like Apollo 21 or something, but I know there's a movie like that. But yeah, that's basically what we have time for. Thank you, Jess, for being on here.
You're welcome.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Aiden, and thanks to all of you for tuning in this week.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Evan.
And this has been the CVU Show.